Hi everybody, Steve Griffiths here, developer of the MTPredictor software program. I'd like to look at the market and how it unfolded yesterday, which was Thursday the 5th of June, particularly as we had a very strong rally. You can see here from about 10 o'clock zone up into the high there, and initially it looks like MTPredictor missed that rally. You can see we had some setups here later in the day, but it seems like we didn't get those earlier on. I also want to, before we start on having a look at that, just want to show you another indicator that we have in our toolbox here. And if I come down to our MTPredictor indicators, we have an ATR range. Now what this does, it actually calculates the average range the market has moved typically in the last 30 days, and it puts some lines on the chart to give you an area of where the markets may likely find support and resistance. And as you can see, the high of the YM yesterday, and actually if you do it on the ES, it's exactly the same. If I just do it on the ES, gives you an even better example. Whereas the ES comes in here, just clear that off, and comes in on the high of the day there as well. This just gives you an indication of the typical likely move of the market in that particular day. And as you can see, the market went up to what we call the average range that it's moved on average over the last 20 days. So once the market gets up into that level, odds on the move is sort of ending. So that's a good other indicator to give an idea. You can see that these setups were a bit more risky, because they were sort of at the area of where the market rally had sort of run out of steam. But I don't want to talk about that particularly today. I'll just take those off. What I want to look at is an MTP VSA setup, which is a volume spike analysis, which should allow you to get in right at the low of the day down here. I just want to show you this because this is a very good tool that we use in MTPredictor here as well, because it gets you in the direction of the professional money. I've just put a bit of space on the right hand side, so I want to go back and see how the market was just starting to decline down here. If I go out to the 15-minute chart first and go back to before yesterday opened, you'd have had a high here, and I'll place that on the chart there. If I go back to the 3-minute chart now, you can see that that would have allowed you to catch the high just after the market opened. It then started to decline. So the question being is, where would it likely to stop? Well, there's two places we'd look at. First of all, there's the DP off a prior low here, which is down this level. You can see how it's on the chart in advance. And also, if I go back to the 15-minute chart, again as it's declining down, here, actually I'll just take that off. More importantly, here was the last pivot low. So if we place the DP on from here, this will give you a larger degree support zone there, but most importantly, this is on the chart in advance. It's before the market even gets there. So I'll go back to the 3-minute chart, just skip forward a bit, and see how you would have seen this happening. So there's an area where you would anticipate support. So let's just scroll forward a bit, and the bar that I'm interested in is this one. I'll just take that DP level off because that's now irrelevant. This bar is interesting because this made a wide range bar on high volume. You can see our volume indicator at the bottom there gave a little red coloration to say that there's something interesting going on in the volume here, and it broke below some prior pivot lows. If I put the crosshairs on, you can see that we had a prior pivot important low here. It actually triple bottomed with all these lows here. So psychologically, amateur traders will look at this and think, well, actually high volume going down, breaking below a prior low is actually selling. But we have the advantage in MTPredictor that we know this actually has reached a support zone. So we look at the next bar, and as you can see, the next bar actually made a rally back up again. So that tells us that professional traders have stepped in on the prior bar or the previous bar, and this high volume here is not selling, it's actually buying. It's buying because the market failed to follow to new lows. But more importantly, look where it unfolded. Right at our decision point support zone that was actually on our chart well in advance. So what can we do with this? Well, we can build a trade setup around it by looking at where the market is likely to go. For this, we go back to the last swing into the low, which you can see takes us back to this pivot high. We right mouse click, put the decision point on there, and that gives us a target. That's okay. What do we do now? We use our risk reward tools. So we place an order just above the high of that bar, just below of that bar, and come up to our target zone, and if it's greater than 2 to 1, it's probably a good trade to take. And as you can see, it's right on this level here. So this would allow you to take an order to go long here. Our position sizing takes care of the number of lots, contracts in this case, or shares, to keep our initial risk small under control. Let's see what happened. Market rallied forward and then went up into our level there. Now what we do is come down to our STF indicator. In this case, we're using it to gauge whether the market's strong or weak. If it's beyond our grey band, which is our strength band, we assume that it's actually strong, and therefore we trail with our ATR stops, which is our blue dots here. If you have the trade module, you can then set it to just automatically trail with the ATR stop for you. So this not only would place your initial order, but would actually do the trade management for you as well. But let's see how this unfolded. I just reset the chart there, and as you can see, the market kept on going up, until you would have been stopped out at this level here. Let's drag the order up to see, or the level up, to see what that profit would have been. And as you can see, at this level, it would have been approximately 3.9 R, or almost 4 times the initial risk. Let's go forward for the rest of the day. I'll just take that white space off so we can get a little bit more chart in our viewable area. And let's have a look at what this was. And there you go. You can see that this allowed you to catch the low of the day yesterday on the YM. Amazing enough, the low of the day came in right at our 15-minute decision point support zone, which is our higher time frame support. But more importantly, that support zone was on the chart, ready and waiting for you in advance before the market even got there, so you're prepared for this. The reversal at that level was highlighted by our VSA indicator on our volume chart here. That indicated that the professionals were stepping in with professional buying. When they do that, you tend to get a strong move off that level, and that's exactly what happened with this strong rally here. This is why I like this particular trade setup, along with the Holy Grail trade setup. Is my two favorite setups with MTPredictor. And as you can see, we basically allowed us to catch the low of the day. Market rallied up here, and we were coming out to take profits, you know, in the area, not quite at the high of the day, but we basically managed to capture the vast majority of that move there. So I wanted to highlight this as an example of an advanced trade setup that we do in the MTPredictor software, built around our VSA bars on our volume indicator, and also using our DP support and resistance zones. Combine that with position sizing allows you to get a very good trade. But more importantly, this VSA setup is very, very good because it allows you to get in with the professionals. In other words, this is professional money coming in here and buying. When that happens, you tend to get a strong move, as the professionals tend to move the market in their direction. So it's a very, very good trade setup. And as you can see, the result was a very nice, profitable trade, allowing you to capture the biggest move in the day on the YM yesterday.